welcome back to Codex. Today I wanted to do a different type of video. I'm going to try and make a 2D endless runner game in just an hour. Now, I know what you're thinking. An hour seems like a long time, but the more you watch, the more errors I ran into that took up more and more time to try and debug. So honestly, it was pretty challenging. So my plans for this 2D runner game are it's going to be an arcade game for my bowling alley simulator that players can play, and I want to try and have a global leaderboard so the score you get on the game will show, and to see who can be the best on the global leaderboard overall. So first I started by making all my assets. I knew I needed a ground, a player, and some obstacles. Those are a given. But then I went into the technical stuff. I know I needed a score, and I wanted to have a death screen where you could just hit a button so that you could just reset your player. So after making the ground, the player, I also made a game management object so that I could, keep track of all the game stuff. I also made a death screen and a score track. Now that I have all the assets, I started to code, which took a lot longer because, unlike 3D games, I have never done a 3D game in Unity before. I usually stick to Game Maker for it because it's a lot simpler to understand, but I thought I'd try and take my hand at making a 2D game in Unity. While I'm coding the player controller, I just finished Percy Jackson. I don't know if any of you guys like the Percy Jackson franchise, but it is amazing. I can't wait for the next season to come out. I won't give any spoilers, but I am a big Percy Jackson fan, a Greek mythology fan overall, actually. After I finished up the player controller, I moved on to the game manager and the spawner so that they can work hand in hand to spawn the obstacles in, which seemed to be a lot harder than I thought because the game manager was just not wanting to work for some reason. While I finished coding the rest of the scripts, let me know what kind of theme the Endless Runner game should have. I wanted to keep it simple for the hour since I only had an hour, but I want to work on it more, making an actual part of the bowling simulator game. Just let me know down in the comments below and I'll choose my favorite one to put in. After I finished all the scripts, I decided to playtest it. But while I was playtesting, Unity decided to glitch out, and I wasn't too sure why. So we went to our old friend ChatGPT here to try and figure out how to fix this anomaly that had come up. Thanks to ChatGPT, my Unity interface is back up and running. Now I can get rolling back again. And as the time ticked down and more errors kept popping up and up, I wasn't sure if I was able to finish this in the time that I had given myself because of how many errors just kept showing up and Unity kept crashing and crashing. I eventually got the problem fixed and got Unity to stop crashing, but I knew if Unity crashed another time, I might not make the time limit after what I've been trying to do to get Unity to stay working. With the base game finally working, I looked at the time and saw I still had a decent amount of time left, so I decided to try and make a script so that the game runs faster the longer you play it. As I was coding this, I started planning what I'd talk about in the video since I usually build my scripts while I work, but I realized the part doesn't always come naturally. My editing timeline ends up full of short voice clips, which is why my videos get sped up so much, so I want your input. Drop questions, topics, or ideas you'd like me to talk about while I'm coding. That's part of why this video took so long to come out. I couldn't come up with another solid idea that wasn't just another devlog. I want to mix up things to give you guys different kinds of videos, so let me know what you want to see on the channel. As I finished the last line of code of the script that was supposed to make the game harder, I ran into yet another error. At this point, I shouldn't have been shocked because this whole game has been errors because I've been rushing through trying to make sure I got it done in the time limit. But with 10 minutes left, I had to try and figure out as fast as I could to see what the issue was and get it working, so I had a finished game by the end of this hour. And finally, after fixing what was the final error, I think it's time to finally play test to see if I made a working Endless Runner game in less than an hour. With less than 3 minutes left on the clock, I did it. And as I play tested it, nothing seemed to break. Sure, the game is pretty simple, but with your ideas in the comments, I want to make this game something actually fun that players in my simulator game will want to play and try and be the top of the leaderboard in. But once I finally finished it, I kept playtesting, waiting for something to break as the clock ran down. And I won't lie, I felt proud. I'm still learning, and I'm not the best at coding yet. But I usually stick to 2D games in GameMaker, but I actually did it. I made a 2D game in Unity. So hit that like button if you want to see more videos like this, and subscribe if you want to keep following my coding journey. Until then, Codex out.